I'm Dr. Lee Nelson, and I've been involved with Christmas with Wartburg since 2009 as the artistic director and executive producer. My very first Christmas with Wartburg, the final show, it was the Sunday Sunday evening show. It's when we actually still did a Sunday evening show. And one of the conductors was Carol Tier, and she was conducting the Castle Singers in St. Elizabeth Chorale that year. We got to the end of Christmas with Wartburg, and I finished Night of Silence and sat down, and as the three chimes rang, I got really, really emotional, probably the most emotional I've ever been at a Christmas with Wartburg. I think it was just the realization of the power of Christmas with Wartburg, the amount of work that it requires to put a show like this together, and then seeing it all come together, and then realizing that this show is done, that we closed the chapter on that show. And I just remember the sense of happiness and joy, and then at the same time sadness. And Carol reached over and grabbed my hand and said, "This is what the spirit of Christmas is all about. You've given us all the gift that this season is meant to be." Something that I'll never forget. There was a year in which, and it was one of the last years that my parents were able to attend in person, and we did a setting of the hymn, "It Is Well With My Soul." It's one of my parents' favorite hymns, my dad's in particular. And I remember it just happened that year that it worked perfectly into the show, and I found a wonderful arrangement of this. And as we were writing the narrations, I wanted to put something a little extra special into that setting and into that narration. And so for the narration that year in the program, I wrote, I don't remember the lines, but the first letters spelled out for, F-O-R, and then everything else was inset over, and then there was 3 lines that were started with a D and an A and a D. And so if you knew it, you could see "for Dad" in the program. And it became one of the students didn't know that it was in there until one of the final rehearsals. I let them know. And it became a really emotional and beautiful moment, because I think it sang or spoke to the power of having family there, for friends and for students having friends and family there, and them realizing that, even the directors up in front even have their parents there sometimes too. It's a great responsibility and a great honor to be part of something that is so storied, a tradition that is so storied and means so much to so many different people. We have alums that come to every year's concert who participated with Dr. Lamone in the first Christmas with Wartburgs, or Dr. Fritchell, or Dr. Torkelson. All of those directors, Dr. Lee, of course, some living legends like Dr. Hancock. Those people who created this tradition. First off, I feel a great sense of honor to be part of it, and a great sense of responsibility to continue to lift it up and bring it up in new ways. 75 years is a pretty extraordinary milestone for us, and it'll probably be one of the last milestones in which we'll have people who have maybe seen it since the beginning. And there are people who have seen almost every Christmas with Wartburg, or have been part of it since the beginning. Every year brings a lot of emotion to me, and I think for the alums, they have a great sense of pride and honor that they've been part of it. So it's one of the most beautiful parts of Christmas with Wartburg, is the coming home for the alums. And for us, it's a big family reunion. When the job description came across my computer screen for the job that I'm currently in here at Wartburg, what jumped out to me was executive producer of Christmas with Wartburg. And I remember coming to campus and talking with Pastor Ramona Buzard over lunch. That was one of my meetings, and she was to tell me about campus life and spiritual life in campus ministry, and then Christmas with Wartburg. And I remember I called it Christmas at Wartburg. And she very quickly corrected me and said, "No, it's Christmas with Wartburg." And I didn't, at the time I thought, well, that, didn't really think anything of it. And it stuck with me, because that is a very important delineation. Christmas with Wartburg, being with the students, not coming to it and viewing it from the outside in, but being part of it. It's a great honor to be part of a legacy that is so inclusive, that is so much about bringing people together in a meaningful way to experience a Christmas season. And I credit the directors that came before me for creating that sense, that feeling. I credit the college's mission, which is the idea of service and faith and learning and using our gifts to be leaders, to wrap us all into something that we are the with, not the at. I credit the team of creative colleagues that I have right now. This is definitely not a one-person show. There's a team of 8-10 of us that work on this and all bring our gifts to it that lifts us up. And maybe that's the answer. Christmas with Wartburg is about being part of something, not being something, but being part of a greater good that lifts it up. And that I get to be on that ship with these people and the people before us who are guiding our ship for 75 years. Wow, what an amazing, amazing honor that is.